Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ. Let the madness begin. You're taking a look at our own Jerry Palm's last four teams in and first four teams out in his latest bracketology. Now, among the last four in is Oklahoma, San Diego State, Ohio State, and Boise State, who, by the way, is in action tonight. In the right column, you'll see the first four teams out, which include Xavier, North Carolina, Nebraska, and Wake Forest. So is there anything really that these teams can do to really move the needle? We'll find out shortly as we welcome in Jerry Palm to CBS Sports HQ. Jerry, it's so great to see you. You know, not too much going on with the college basketball slate yesterday, and so with that, there was really no big changes, but walk us through your last four teams that you have in currently.
Yeah, so, these teams are all going to be, fighting for everything. I mean, Ohio State is new to that list. They've had a rough go lately, but they were 16-13 and had to win their way back, just to having a good enough record to get consideration. And they did that, and now I believe they get Indiana this weekend, and that's another team, near the bottom of the bracket. So that's two teams fighting for a leg up. Trying to get into the tournament. Boise State and San Diego State are among the last four in. On either side of Ohio State, that's two Mountain West teams. Boise's playing tonight. San Diego State is going to have a game this weekend. In the conference tournament, they could run into each other there. And then you have to be aware of a possible bid stealer in that league as well, and maybe Colorado State. And then Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma had been dropping down. They finally got a big win over Mizzou, so now they're kind of back in a little bit of form. But these SEC teams at the bottom of the bracket have all been kind of hit and miss. So Oklahoma's last one was a hit. Now they have to avoid a miss, and they're going to play at Texas, who's going to be even more desperate than they are. Yeah, that is an important thing to know. Now let's get to your first four teams out. These teams really right on the cusp. As you take a look here, right now you have Xavier, North Carolina, Nebraska, and Wake Forest. At this point, Jerry, is there anything that these teams can do to really move the needle? Yeah, North Carolina plays Duke on Saturday. You beat Duke, that's moving the needle. And that fills a hole in their resume because they have a very poor record against Quad 1 teams. It's 1-10, and that's just not going to get it done. But, you can beat Duke. Well, now that's a gold star on your resume, and that gives them a fair amount of juice. It doesn't make them a lock for the tournament, but it certainly gives them hope that they can be in the NCAA tournament. If they don't beat Duke, I don't know where they're going to find hope unless they get them again in the conference tournament. But Xavier is going to get into Big East play. They need to get into the tournament first before they're going to see another good team again. And Nebraska's in the Big Ten, so they're going to see good teams as well. Wake Forest may have to, by the time they get enough wins to get to where they can be considered an NCAA tournament team, they're either going to have won the ACC tournament or they'll be playing in the final. So they have a lot more work to do. Even though they're the fourth team out, their chances of making the NCAA tournament are not very good, and I don't even have them on the bubble. That's how poorly I think of their chances. Okay, let's go a little further down, too, and talk about some of the bubble teams that you have. Is there any team that could have a really good conference tournament run and punch their ticket to the big dance? Well, Texas could. That obviously you're in the SEC, so you're getting great opportunities every time you take the court, and they're going to play Oklahoma in the regular season, so that helps as well. That's another team they're competing with. And then I think Cincinnati, they're in the Big 12. Cincinnati may have to win the Big 12. I don't know. It depends on who they play on their way to, getting to a final. But they may have to make that kind of a run to get consideration for an at-large. And obviously, if they win it, they're not an at-large anymore. All right, we will wait to see if that happens. Lastly, Michigan State is our outright Big Ten regular season champs. Right now, Jerry, you have the Spartans as a 2 seed, but maybe with a really good conference tournament run, can they make a case for a 1 seed? Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at Quad 1 wins, and not all Quad 1 wins are the same, but, Auburn has been the leader in that department all season long, and Auburn has got, it's like 15 Quad 1 wins. Well, the only other team with double-digit Quad 1 wins is Michigan State, who's sitting at 11 after the win over Iowa last night. So, those two teams, Michigan State, if they win the Big Ten tournament, is probably going to pick up 2 or 3 more Quad 1 wins. they'll have a number that can compete with all of these SEC teams that are up there that want that fourth number one as well. And if Michigan State doesn't have to worry about the fact that, all of these teams ahead of them, they can't all win their conference tournament. There's 4 SEC teams. Only one of them can win the conference tournament. That team is probably going to be a number 1 seed. So if it's not Auburn, but it's one of the others, Michigan State may be out of luck. But if it's not, if Auburn wins or someone else from, like Missouri wins, then Michigan State winning the Big Ten title would have a strong case for the 4th number 1 seed.
Well, anything can happen in college basketball. We know that for sure. Jerry Palm, always great to see you as the madness gets set to get underway. It's going to be fun. We're looking forward to it. You'll get to see those Spartans in action on CBS this upcoming Sunday. They're taking on their rival in Michigan. It'll be their regular season finale, a date with the Michigan Wolverines. It's number 17 taking on number 8. Tip-off slated for 12 p.m. Eastern on CBS, or you could stream on Paramount+. All right, so we covered all of our bases. NHL trade deadline. We talked about some college hoops, women's and men's. We've talked about some NFL free agency. Been fun. Been a fun hour. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Jordan Georgie, but don't go anywhere. More HQ on the other side.